channel, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be changing the spring on a Mk7 Ford Fiesta. This is a 1.2. That's the spring, KYB, which are good springs, and I've already removed the wheel. Obviously that's an easy thing to do. If you're going to be doing this, you should know how to do that. Now the first thing we're going to be coming to is make sure it's all nice and safe. As you can see, I've put the wheel under the carb as well. It's actually on the jack and an axle stand as well, and I'm using this jack here just to jack it up so I can loosen the drop link as well. Right, so what I'm going to be doing first is I'm just going to be loosening. I'm going to be taking the drop link off first. So I'm sure that's I think it's a 17. Let me just check. Let me just have a look. If you can zoom in. Yeah, 17. So let me just get that on the gun. So some of these nuts and bolts I have already loosened just to make the video quicker. But if they don't come undone, you can put a 17mm spanner on the end of there, and you can use a set which looks like this, and that will be, what's this one? This is a Torx 30, and that's what it looks like if you need to put it in there. So here we go. So just put that to one side just so we don't lose it. To get our drop link, push our drop link out the way, because we don't need to remove the bottom one, you only need to move the top one. Next thing we're going to be doing is removing this here, which is I believe is a 10mm. So just bear with me while I've got a 10mm. So 10mm. Let's put that on there. So just crack that. Okay, that just, as you can see, that goes on just behind there like that. So all we have to do is just move that out the way like that, so when we take the strut off you don't catch it. So let me just put this nut to the one side. There you go, so that's out the way. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be loosening these here. Now that is a 13 this side, and that is a 17 that side. So just while I do that, I will try and set you up and get you the best shots I can. Just bear with me while I set the camera up. There you go. So I'm just going to be loosening them. So there's one nut. To the bottom one. Now them are loose, I'm going to be undoing this just here, which I believe's the ABS sensor, which goes into the back of the wheel up. So I'll just move out the way as well, just so it don't get catched when you move the suspension arm. Now what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be coming up to the top, and I'm going to be loosening these ones just on the top of that. Now these ones on the top, they're a 13mm, one there, and one just under there. I do recommend you get some penetrating grease or spray on these first before you start undoing them. So I'll just undo this. I've just undone that one there. So this one, I'm just going to undo it a little bit till the screw get to the nut, gets to the top. Like that. I'll say round about there, so when it does drop, this screw nut has still got it on the top. So what I'm going to be doing now is removing these two bolts just here. So let me just set you up. I'm trying to get you the best shots I can for this. So another good idea to remove these as well is just get the nut, put the nut just on the edge like that, and the bottom one like that, and then all you do is just get something to tap them just to free them up. That way when you're tapping on it, you don't affect the end of the bolt, so when you put that back on, it won't cross thread. So all you do now, take your nuts back off, or you can use something like this as well, put it on the end of the nut and knock it through, which you can do it that way as well. So I'll put it on the end of the nut and you can just tap it through. I'm going to tap this one through as well. I'm just going to be letting down off the jack a little bit now. So there's that bolt. Pull them somewhere safe, because the last thing you want to be doing is losing them. So what I'm going to be doing now, as you can see, now the bolts are out, the strut is nice and loose. So I'm just going to go to the top, just here now. I'm just going to go and undo that while I'm holding the strut at the same time, just so it don't drop. So let me just set you back up. while I'm mounting the strut, just undo it from the top, and then you should be able to just pull it straight out. Like it says, bearing in the brake pipe and the ABS wire. Right, now this one is actually snapped on the bottom, as you can see, just there. Just there, the other part of it has actually fell out. And now on the top here, it will actually look like that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly clean the threads up on this with a wire brush, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, so this is the method I'm going to use. I've already put the spring clamps on just to make it easier. So one that side, one that side. Now if you lift the strut up, the boot up on the strut, you'll see this metal part just there. I have actually put a glove round it with a pair of vice grips, so when I spin that top nut, it actually holds it and stops it from spinning. Now the other way is you can put an Allen key in or a Torx bit in there as well with a deep ring spanner and undo it that way as well, but this is the way I'm going to do it. So let me just set you up and see how it goes. So I'll just bear with me while I set the camera up. Another important messy thing to know as well, as when you're messing with these, is that you do not stand, when you're undoing that nut, you do not stand right this side, because if that springs off, you will know about it. So I'm just trying to set the camera up the best I can. Right, so we're just going to be undoing the nut now. So what I'm going to be doing is tightening these nuts up first on the spring clamps, and then we'll be undoing that one. And these, that's an 18mm nut on the end of that one, and on the end of these, on the spring clamps, I'm using an 18. So what I'm going to be doing now is undoing the one on the end. As you can see, that's loose, so I'll swap that for an 18mm, put it on the end, like that. There you go, there's the nut straight off. Now all you have to do is take the top bit off, that comes straight off, just like that, as you can see. Just put that to one side, like that. I'm going to actually undo the vice grips now, so if I just undo the vice grips like that, loosen them off, move them out the way. If I take the rubber boot out, just like that, that's what that looks like. Inside you will have that as well, so I'll just set that to one side as well, and all you have to do is just remove your spring just like that. Now we have actually got to get these off. I'm just checking to see if you can see. We have actually got to get these off now. So when you're taking them off, again, I advise you to be careful. So undo them bit by bit. So let me just swap the socket. So reverse. So again, undo them bit by bit, as you can see. There you go. And there's your old spring, and as you can see, if you compare it to the new one like that, you can actually see where it snapped off from the bottom compared to the new one. So what we're going to be doing now, we're going to be putting the spring clamps on the new one. Bear in mind, when you do put the new one on, there is just a ridge inside the strut, just here, just there. Your spring, the end of the spring, has to be touching that at the bottom. So as you plug it on, and it slips on like that, that part of the bottom of the spring, don't know whether you can see it, just there, as you can see, locks into there like that, up against it. Right, so let's just get the spring clamps back on. So that's that one on. Next one, always make sure when you're putting spring clamps on as well, they're opposite to each other, so you'll have one that side and one that side, not like that. So just bear with me. Just a little bit more. Just like that. So if I can help it, just bear with me. Just bear with me. Right, so there we go now. All I'm going to do now is just start compressing the spring. Let me just have a look, see if you can still see. Yeah. Just a little bit at a time, each side. What you have to do is just keep trying it. So stick it on just like that, I can see at the moment is that it's delay enough, so we've still got a bit to go. So let's just try that. So I'll put that on the bottom, just like that. Make sure it's in the groove, like I says, which is important, which is. Get your boot, push your rubber boot back on, just like that. Now what I'll be doing now is your top mount. Just put your top mount back on. Just like that. Get your nut. Put that nut back on. Let me just find the socket just to start it off. As you can see, just bear with me 2 secs. We'll put that on there. And just stand this up. Just where I put the nut on. The nut is actually on now. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to be tightening the nut up a little bit on the top. It is actually spinning now, as you can see. It is actually on. So what I want to be doing now, I want to be looking to see if it's sitting in that groove properly as I'm undoing the clamps. So let's just undo the spring clamps now. Just move the spring clamps out the way. Now, as you can see, if you look there just now, you can actually see as that where the new spring is sitting just in there. Now what I'm going to be doing now is same again, just a piece of material. I'm using a glove. Push your boot up like that, your rubber boot up. I'll show you again in a minute when I put the vice grips on. Just like that. So as you tighten the top nut up now, it stops the inside of that from spinning. get my 18mm. There you go, that's tight enough. The torque settings to all these I will actually put in the description and in the video. So if you wish to tighten them down with the proper torque settings, you can. Right, now that's actually done, all we have to do is put it back on the car. So just bear with me and I'll be back with you. Right, so what we're going to be doing now is putting the strut back in, and all I do is just get your strut, make sure that you put it in this way first, between the brake pipe and the ABS. One, push down. Once it's like that, you can push it back up like that into the wheel arch. Once it's back up into the wheel arch, this is where it's easy with two people. All you have to do is put a nut on the top just to hold the strut. So all I'm going to do now is just go up to the top, put a nut on the top just to hold it, then I'll come back to the bottom. Okay, so as you can see, I've actually put a nut on to hold it, well two, just to hold the strut in to stop it from dropping down. And if you come down here now, you can see that it's all in, and then all you have to do is line these up. So what I'll do is, again, something like that, or flat-ended screwdriver or something like that, just push it through, as you can see, just to try and help you line it up to put your bolts through. So I am trying to do this with one hand, so what I'm going to do is just set you up back here, just so I can get the bolts in. The top one's in. Once you've got the top one in, the bottom one shouldn't be as hard. So all you have to do to get it in, just put your hand on the brake disc and just wiggle it like that, and as you can see, you go straight in. Get your nuts, pull them on hand tight. I always recommend pulling them on hand tight first. Stops cross threading them, and then the top one hand tight again. Like I says, all the torque settings I will actually put in the video and in the description down below in the video as well. So just bear with me while I tighten these back up. Like I says, the back one is a 13 and the front one is an 18. So let me just hold that with a ratchet. That's that one. What we're going to be doing now is we're going to be pulling your ABS wire. So So that goes just behind here, as you can see in that little hole there. That just pushes in, and then this just pushes into there like that. Bear with me. There you go. So it actually goes like that, and then you have your brake hours, which, as you can see, that just goes under there like that, it just tucks in, and then you get your little bolt, and then it goes through there, which is a 10mm, which looks like that, and that just goes in there like that. Is it a 10? Yeah, let me just get a 10mm. Just bear with me. So I'm just going to nip that up now. Like I say, it's always put it in hand tight first. There you go, that's it, that's tight enough. So it's a good idea now, while we're here, like I says, just make sure you double check. Like I says, I will put the torque wrench settings in the description and in the video. I'm just going to jack it up from under here now with the other jack, just so this lifts up, so I can actually get the drop link back in. So just bear with me. As you can see, as I jack it up, you can see that it starts going up with it, and then all you do, just a little bit more, there you go, just line it up and push it through. And like I says, this is an actual, this is 17. So like I says, start it off by hand. Once you start it off by hand, then you can nip it up. Right, so all I'm going to be doing now is just tightening these up just here. Just like that. As you can see, just stand tight, and the spanner I'm using is a ratchet spanner. I have already tightened the back one up and that one at the back as well, obviously just to save time. Just make sure they're more nice and snug, and that's okay. And that's it to changing your suspension spring on a Mk7 Ford Fiesta. This is a 1.2, but they're the same on all the Mk7s. The spring I actually used, like I says, is a KYB. If you want the, let me just see if I can find the R. This is the actual, that's actually what's on the box, RH2825. And I actually got this off eBay, and I think it was round about £17 something, round about that anyway. So well worth it, definitely. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, as it does help the channel grow. Ring the notification bell, just so it lets you know when I upload new videos as well. There will be more videos coming in the future on this car as well, and on others, so stick around, enjoy the videos, like and share and give it a thumbs up. I'm actually going to leave it there now and stop waffling on, and until next time, I'll catch you in another one.